What is up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to Streamers After Parks, which we have now been named. I am LilRoo. This is LilRoo Plus 2. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I already saw Jeanette in there. Justin, welcome back. Mom, how's it going? All right, so we're going to have a little bit of fun tonight. I'm not going to be on for too terribly long because I do have to work in the morning, but I did want to come on and say hey, and especially since we hit 200 friends, that is awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. Just said this Friday I'll be at Disney for my birthday. That is awesome. Hey, best place to celebrate your birthday. Seriously. Not that I would know or anything. we just did that. So good to see everybody. Thanks so much for joining me again. I don't know, just to start things off, I don't know if I'll be doing the giveaway tonight or if I will be waiting until 2 days from now when I have a lot more time to be able to kind of stream and do the whole thing for a lot longer. But I did want to come on and say hey to everybody now that I'm back from the parks. Also, I apologize for the glare on my glasses. I need a better angle on that light because it's like... So hopefully everybody can hear me. Welcome back. And Justin, happy early birthday. That is awesome. I'm so happy that you'll actually be able to get to be at the parks for your birthday. That is sweet. So a couple of things to start out with. I did want to go ahead and mention they did the streamer hangout. I can't remember if it was number 15 or 16, but that was last night. They talked about everything from D23 coming up to Tiana's Bayou to several other things. So definitely go check that out. It was Cordy and a bunch of other people in there. I know Barry was in there. Theme Park Casual was in there. And I am drawing a blank on who the fourth one was that was the host, and I feel really bad. I'm so sorry. Because in my brain, I kept seeing Vanta's name, and it wasn't Vanta. So I apologize for that. But go check that out. Seriously, go give a like on all of those streams because everybody streamed it separately while they were also together. Also, hopefully, you guys like the slightly new and improved all this. We're working on it. Oh, before I forget, so we had the first giveaway. Wendy Girl was my first winner. And I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and do the whole thing yet as far as show. But this is the little friend that Wendy will be getting. And it is magnetic. There's a magnetic piece inside, so it sits on your shoulder. So Wendy Girl, be watching in the mail. It'll be shipped out probably in the next 48, 72 hours. I got several packages I need to do. Also, the giveaway that we're doing coming up will be for this. So I'm trying to look at the camera. Whoop, showed my green screen. Oopsie. But here, let's just keep it right there. There we go. So that's the front of it where you can keep your ID right there. And then on the back, you have the Haunted Mansion logo as well as the lanyard. Very, very, very excited about that. So some lucky winner will be seeing that coming to them in the mail once we do the giveaway coming up. Let's see here. You're very welcome, Justin. Jeanette said, what are your plans for Easter, Roo? Work. Work and hopefully some sleep. That is my entire goal for Easter as of right now. Other than that, maybe see some family. So not too terribly much. I will say we do have a couple more Disney trips, maybe more than I originally talked about in the works right now. I have not confirmed anything, so I'm not going to release any dates or anything yet, but it looks like there will be some more stuff coming your way. Thank you, everyone. Seriously, thank you so much for going with me and hanging out and just... It was amazing. I'd be in a line queue. You know, we tried not to do anything over about 50 minutes, and several of those queues were a good 50 minutes, and it didn't feel like it. It really didn't, because you guys were there hanging out with me, and of course I had the +2. +2 were awesome. It was great. I had an absolute blast while we were there, so thank you so much for all the support and everything. And I still can't believe that we were at 101 friends when we left. And as of today, we are at 206. Tina, what's up? I hope you're feeling better. Good to see you. Tina, you are an absolute all-star. So for those that don't know, Gideon's Bake Shop, which if you haven't seen it yet, it's labeled a misspelling of Disney Springs. But it's in the lives. And I did that just for Tina. And I'm so glad that I did. I still have one of those cookies and some of that cake left in my fridge. They're nearly a half pound. They say it on the sign. They're not kidding. Those things are humongous. And they're not overly rich, too. Like, you don't need like 8 glasses of water to eat one cookie, if that makes any sense to any of you guys. I mean, it was absolutely delicious. I loved it. So thank you, Tina, for that suggestion. That video was straight up for you, and I had a blast filming it. Thank you so much for the suggestion. Also, if anybody else has suggestions for me to check out things, let me know. Let me know. I've been to Disney a lot, but I don't know everything. Tina said I was drooling over the footage. I was drooling while filming the footage, so I'm right there with you. Also, I found out a couple of cool things while I was in line. Apparently there was a custom artist, like a specific artist that they went to and commissioned to do both that one and the other one that's somewhere in Florida. And I really like it. It reminds me a lot of the, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the artist. There's a movie on HBO that actually is about this artist, but it was a female that basically did paintings, and it was of mainly kids, and the thing was the eyes were really, really big. And this was like that meets Haunted Mansion. So that wall of all of that art, that wasn't just like prints. That was, someone actually was commissioned to do that art, which I think was really, really cool. There was a bunch of, it might have been Edward Gorey, actually. That actually sounds right to me. Thank you. But it was really, really cool to be able to see all that, and then all of the other stuff. Like, it was giving me Harry Potter vibes, to be honest, which is not a problem. I mean, I loved Harry Potter World. Hopefully we'll be doing Universal next year. So, there's a whole bunch of things stream-wise I need to figure out between now and then, but that is on the docket because that's my wife's favorite. But thank you again. Tia said, thank you for going. No, thank you. Thank you for the suggestion, and that was for you. Thank you for everything you do over here for the channel. I couldn't do this without you guys. Tina, Miss Garcia, of course the +2, the rest of my mods. You guys are great. But Tina, Miss Garcia, and Wendy Girl are probably my like 3 MVPs straight up. Daisy, welcome in. Good to see you. Tina said, to me, it was 2 artists combined. I saw that. I saw there were influences that you could see in the art. Also, speaking of art, we have one of the best art museums in North Carolina, about an hour from where I am. And it has both an inside art collection and an outside art collection. I'm pretty sure I could stream the outside without asking. I am actually planning on seeing if we can stream the inside and do a walkthrough maybe a couple of times of the North Carolina Art Museum, because there's some really cool paintings in there. I know Mama Kanga's in here right now. She knows that there's a couple of, to be honest, when you know which ones are my favorite, like they're weird, but I have some specific favorites that I do like. But there's a lot of them that are really cool. I went probably the second time ever, but my favorite and most memorable time was when the Rodin sculpture collection came through. So we had like the Thinker and all those different ones, and I'm a big fan of Rodin and that style. And yes, exactly. Mama Cake is like the Butcher Shop. Yes, there is a painting. It's like a 6 by 9 foot painting that is called the Butcher Shop, and it is one of my favorites just from the detail. It's not gory. It's not gory. If you don't like looking at dead animals, not a thing. But there is a certain amount of, trying to think of the right way to word it. When I'm looking at art, especially paintings, depending on the style I'm looking at, I look for different things. With this particular style that this one was done in, it's to capture a moment. It's to be a landscape, something to look at. and natural beauty and all that kind of thing, but it's to capture a moment. And I do think they do it very well. There's no blood or anything, but it's just literally like looking out a butcher shop window with all of these different animals and everything. It's very, very cool. It's not for everybody. I find it very, very interesting, especially because of all the detail that's in it. Because anytime you're doing art involving animals, there, is a lot of, I look for detail in that kind of thing. And this particular one has a ton of different animals, and the detail is on point without being not tasteful, if that makes any sense. So we'll talk more about art later. But if you guys like art, that is actually on the docket. Mama said, I like how I keep saying mama. Mom said, LilRoo was about 7 when he first discovered that painting. Yes, I was. That was about the same time that I discovered Rodin. They did one that was based on Dante's Inferno that has the different levels, but it's done in like a U-shaped thing. It's very, very cool. There's a lot of cool stuff that comes through that art museum, and they have some really, really cool stuff outside as well. So I am a fan of all the arts. Also this year, I don't know if I'll have to work the whole time. If I do, I apologize and won't be able to stream it. But if I don't, and again, this is another it's not for everybody type of thing, but the International Bluegrass Festival will be here in Raleigh for its final year this year. And hey Nancy, welcome in. I always enjoy that because they do the awards and all that. I won't be able to stream that, but what you don't see usually is they do a whole street festival, and the street festival takes up about 8 blocks. And every alcove, you've got artists just collaborating and hanging out and playing music. Every restaurant has a little stage set up. The Burnett Sisters, if you like bluegrass, check out the Burnett Sisters. Red Prairie Dawn is one of my favorites. But I actually discovered their work at the festival either last year or 2 years ago. And they were literally my most played music on Spotify for that year. Because I just kept listening to their album. The really, really good music. Really, really good music. So hopefully I'll be able to show some of that. They do beer and food. I'll be less about the beer and the food, more about the music on that one. All right, just checking up on the chat here. Also, what do you guys think? Does this look better other than what's on my glasses? Because I tried to clean up the background a little bit. I don't know how well it's working on your end, but I tried. So a couple of things I did want to bring up, specifically related to the streamer hangout that happened. And again, if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. They talked about a lot of really cool things. They were talking about Tiana's Bayou. And I'm going to attempt to make this work. We're going to give it a shot. Let's see if this works. Can you guys still hear me okay? Hopefully you can. So this is a shot I took of Tiana's Bayou from the Thunder Mountainside. It was the first day I was there. It wasn't really that overcast. It looks a little bit more overcast in that particular picture. But, sorry, your hat is picking up great. Yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to happen. I need to add the other 2 lights that I have. I had all this in storage. I pulled it out. I'm still figuring out what angle and all that kind of thing. But I think that this all looks better. So, working on it. Nancy said, I hope you had an amazing trip with your family. It looked like you had tons of fun. I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. Littlest of the Roos and I are having conversations about how to listen to Daddy when he speaks. But other than that, I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. But hey, she's 4. And she'll get there. And she got to ride a lot of really cool rides. Of course, everybody knows now Spooky Elevator has become a thing on this channel. And there'll be much more where that came from. So also, if it lagged any of the ones you watched, go back and watch the very tail end of the last stream at Hollywood Studios that I did. And that one, that last Tower of Terror ride did not lag at all. Also, the beginning of that, I did Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular and had one of the best seats I've had in years. And I do mean years, decades. It was awesome. It was awesome, and it was a very, very cool like cross shot of the whole stage. So you got to see a lot of the stuff that's happening around the people talking. So I really, really enjoyed bringing that to you guys. But talking about Tiana's Bayou, so this is the picture that I took while we were there. And you can sort of see the water tower down to the side. Of course, they added the trees in front. But if you look very closely up on the very top of the ridge, it's not just greenery now. They are starting to add the flowers. I saw on DFB, which is Disney Food Blog, if you haven't gone and liked and subscribed from them, if you like keeping up with the current Disney stuff and food and stuff like that, DFB is great. Hi DFB, if you see this. No, seriously, they're great. But they were saying something about, oh, it looks like they're going to open really, really soon. Well, I don't disagree with that assessment. I will say this. I was able to see from the train, because Walt Disney World Railroad goes right through, the queue area. And basically the station is over top of the queue for Tiana's Bayou. So there is no way to really cover it. You can see straight down into it. They got a lot of work left to do. The big stuff, I will say, on the mountain, they're starting to put a lot of the finer touches on. Like I said, they're adding flowers to the greenery that we've already seen. They are running the water starting usually in the afternoon if the park's not very crowded, and especially during the after-hour stuff or at night. They've been playing the music, testing that out. I've heard some people say it doesn't quite vibe with the Tomorrowland thing. I think that's why they're keeping the red rock, is so that it kind of flows through looking at it. I also am starting to think, looking at, and Berry Place 28 says something last night that actually got my brain really thinking about this, having looked at it recently. I think that the traditional straight-on shot, which would be if you're lined up with the chute, is not the shot they want people to be taking now. I don't know this for a fact. This is just my opinion. But when I looked at it, Mom said they were testing the ride with real employees this weekend. Yes, they were. In fact, they were testing it with they were testing the dummies, like the human dummies, in the ride while we were there, which meant they were going to be doing employee testing this week. So I fully believe that the inside and all the big stuff is done. Now it's all final touches. I will say, though, as far as the shot of the mountain, I think they're trying to get everybody to, instead of take the straight-on shot, to take more from the parade route shot. So that's my left. So if you're looking at the mountain to the left, if you're standing more on the street or the sidewalk, I think they want you to take more of that angle, because just before you hit Thunder Mountain on the right-hand side of the shot, because then you get a new angle of the mountain, where you're not just looking straight at the flume, you're getting more of the whole picture. B, you always can get between the trees to see the water tower, which is going to be a self-sufficient feature of the ride. I can tell you that right now, just looking at it. And C, I think they might be trying to get people to stop taking pictures right there in the middle of the walkway. Because if you're familiar at all with Disney World, the main way to get to Thunder Mountain, which is the only other attraction in Frontierland on that end of the walkway, you have to walk over a bridge that goes right over where the flume goes under. So it's a big walkway, but then there's a secondary walkway that's on the Tom Sawyer's Island side that is much more like a boardwalk. And those used to be your traditional, like if you wanted a shot of coming down the flume, you got up close on the big walkway. If you wanted the shot further back, you got onto the Tom Sawyer's walkway. But those are also main thoroughfares. So, like the boardwalk walkway that's closer to Tom Sawyer's Island is the main pass-through when they're doing parades. Sorry, I got a hair on my nose. I apologize. I'm trying not to sneeze. That's what it is. But that's the main, where they keep you walking during the parade, is on that section. Now, the closer up section is your mass group crossover to cross the parade route to get into Adventureland. There has been issues in the past, and I've seen this personally, where a bunch of people just congregate right there in those walkways and try to take pictures. So I don't know. This might be Disney's way of saying, hey, yeah, this is the traditional shot. Great, fantastic. But this is a better shot and you're out of our way. So that's kind of my opinion on it. Having looked at it and looked at the different angles in person, I can also say from the Thunder Mountain side, they're not really trying to do much as far as photography angles. It's a cool angle that I got because you can actually see the depth of the mountain itself, whereas normally the straight on shot looks very 2D. This is more like you actually see how big the structure is, because this is looking from the far off right hand side. This was actually taken from Thunder Mountain's queue about halfway in, out one of the windows. So that's how I was able to get that shot. Also, if you look a little bit down to the left, where the gift shop used to be for Splash Mountain, they did not change much of the facade over it. You still have like a tree and tree roots. So that's kind of my opinion on what they're trying to do as far as POVs of the ride itself. Now, I will say some people had differing opinions as far as basically what they were seeing. It's not done. That's all I have to say on that. I mean, I could say more, but it's not done. I do believe they are going to do quite a bit more with hiding things, because while I was there, I was watching the employees, not only with scaffolding going down, but I was watching employees actually go out and put in greenery and flowers and things, which would be final touches, but that was all for the upper quarter of the mountain. Everything from about halfway down, including the queue, has not been finished yet. And they are still trying to put in things, especially in the queue and around things, to try to make it look like, hey, you know, this is going to be a ride soon. But it's not the completed project. But they also are very much aware they can't hide the ride completely. Like, you can't throw a big blanket over it. People are going to see these views. People are going to see straight down into the queue for what will be the queue for the ride from the train. There's no way to hide that. People can see everything from about midway down the flume to ground level and below, especially on the left-hand side where the water wheel is and all that kind of stuff. All of that is super, super, super visible to everyone that walks by. And even though there is a go-away green wall, which if you go back and watch, I believe it was my last day at Magic Kingdom when I caught the parade, I caught it right there on the right-hand side from Adventureland on top of a pillar, looking at Tiana's Bayou into Frontierland with the parade going by. And I actually really like that shot. But you can see the go-away green wall. But the go-away green wall's not doing much. I mean, let's be real. It's just not doing much. It's a humongous structure. It's not inside. A lot of it is viewable outside. A lot of the ride is outside. If you ever rode Splash Mountain, you know a lot of the ride goes around the outside of the actual structure. And then you go inside and it's a whole thing. That's one of the reasons we have a super, super long ride for that attraction. But a lot of the outside stuff on the top, they are starting to finish. A lot of the stuff on the bottom, I still want to see what they do with it. I'm not passing any judgment right now because it's not done. And a lot of it I feel like is, okay, we're working. Oh, a couple thousand, tens of thousands of people are about to walk by this. What do we throw over it to make it look not quite so neat? So I totally get that. I deal with that in my own career. So I will say I'm going to give them a pass on all that for right now. But what I'm seeing on the top, if they mirror that on the bottom, which I expect them to, it's going to look great. Because right now, if you just look at the picture, it looks green. But if you actually look, they're highlighting the different ridges of the hill with actual colored shrubbery as far as like flowers and bushes and things like that. And it's very, very cool. So I did want to talk about that part. I can also say that the artist who's doing the work for the queue side of the ride, I heard during the streamer hangout, is the same artist that was commissioned to do the Disneyland version and is from Louisiana and from that area. I've seen bits of it going up, but there are still definitely big sections that have not been completed and not been put up yet. So, I mean, when you look down in the queue right now, it's not just landscaping that's still left to be done. It's very much still, there are sections of sides of buildings and things that need to be put up. Like you're looking at construction material. So just stay tuned. Don't judge too early, guys. Don't judge too early. Other thing I will say, and I could be completely off base on this, but I'm going to say it anyway. The newer animatronics, having seen the video of Tiana, use trying to think of the best way to say this. They basically use a face that is projectable. So you have it built, they use projection mapping to keep it right here. But all of what you're seeing, and a lot of this actually started with Frozen and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train as far as attractions at Walt Disney World, because they use both. When you're looking at the dwarves inside the mine, when you're looking on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, when you're looking at especially Anna and Elsa in the last shot of the Frozen ride at Epcot, same thing. You have an animatronic that moves and is dressed as the whole thing, but all this is projection, which is fine. I think they're getting a lot better at it. One of the first times I saw that introduced, as far as early on, as far as that technique being used for something at Walt Disney World, was Mr. Potato Head inside Toy Story Mania, which is at Hollywood Studios. And it's the eyes. If you look at the eyes, that's all projection. That's not a light. It used to be they'd use like a focus light or like a gobo, which is where you put a pattern in front of the light and the light shines through it. You basically use the shadow. This was straight up projection. And they've gotten a lot better with that. And it's progressing. Seeing the Tiana animatronic, they are 1,000 billion% going to be using that for her face. I mean, it's very, very obvious. That's one of the reasons where close up, people are like, that doesn't look like Tiana. No, that's because it's meant to be viewed from 15 feet back. When you're that close, you can actually see the projection doing its... And again, this has to be viewed from like a 180. So what you're seeing is, this looks great from farther back, but when you get right up close to it, you start seeing more of the imperfections. That's just how the tech works. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's actually really cool. They're getting so much better with projection mapping. I mean, look at the fireworks shows, both at Disney World and Disneyland. Look at, like I said, the attractions that already use it for focused projection work. I think it's going to look great. That being said, if you see things outside the ride that look kind of lackluster in their color, or look almost like a cream colored on them, 9 times out of 10 in my experience from recent Disney stuff, that is going to be something that they use a projection on to try to bring it to life. It used to be they would light it up. They're going to do that too. So when you add in the lighting effects, which they are not doing yet, and then you add in the projection mapping effects, it should make everything pop. And it should draw your eye to exactly what they want you to focus on. So I would not freak out too much yet about, oh, that doesn't look like it's painted very colorfully. That's because they don't want to paint it very colorfully. Because you can't project an image and make it read correctly on a super colorful surface. You have to have like that opaque color. It used to be like a really like bleach white. Now it's more of an opaque, because they can bury, especially like more earthy colors, they can bury that easier as far as the edges of it in the opaque coloring. So anyway, this is me putting my soapbox away. So I did want to say that. A lot of things coming. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, because the chat is not moving, and I don't know if you guys are still there, and I'm just talking. So feel free to somebody to be like, hi. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to normal me. Let me find my thing here. There we go. So that is my talking about Tiana's bike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Oh, let's see. Again, go check out Park Streamers Hangout. They talked about a whole bunch of things. I did want to talk about D23 for a second. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm going to be honest. D23 for me used to be this really, really, really cool thing. And it actually told you like things that were coming. However,
Mr. Unknown came to life. He says, "Hey guys."
I hear PJ. Where are you? Oh, sorry. There we go. Sorry, PJ. I will definitely go say hey to PJ in a minute. By the way, PJ's Ponderosa is live right now at Disneyland. I believe they're shopping. Go check them out. I forgot to mute all my tabs here. That is what happened right there. My apologies. So I'm just gonna hop in here. Give me 1 second. T says, "Sorry, LilRoo. I've been waiting for more streams to hear how you're." Wait, hold on. Words. I have been waiting for more streams to hear how from your end things went behind the scenes with streaming, and I'm hopping here. Oh, no problem, no problem. I'm just glad you can still hear me. That was all I was saying. You know me. I don't mind you guys hopping around. I hop around all the time. I just forgot to pull up myself to make sure that I'm actually still making noise. But yeah, you're totally fine. Totally fine. Also, I'm going to go and pull up PJ's stream here. Just give me 1 second, and then I will go into the D23 stuff. So while I'm pulling this up, they actually had D23 in Raleigh while I was living in Atlanta. And I'm very, very sad that I was not here because they actually held it at the theater I work at. Which would have been so cool to actually be... PJ, are you walking to Wink's house? What's happening here? I don't want to know. Okay. I'll check back later. Hey, Slim Devin, what's up? Welcome in. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Tina, do you mind dropping Slim's Slim stuff for me? I appreciate it. Always good to see you, my friend. So as far as D23, I have noticed, and it's not, in my opinion, strictly Disney's fault. It's a leadership thing. And that is, there is always a lot of, oh, we're going to do this great thing. There's fireworks and blasts and this big montage. And then when you actually look at what the montage is, not a lot there. You're maybe looking at a 5-minute video to see 2 seconds of concept art. And as of right now, the way Disney's been going, a lot of times that concept art either A, never is going to come to fruition, Mary Poppins World, right? If you know what that is. I mean, and Iger was fully right, in my opinion, to strike that. It was going to be money down the drain. They hadn't figured out an e-ticket attraction that was going to actually draw money from that land or draw people to that land. I mean, look at Galaxy's Edge. You have, in my opinion, 2 e-ticket attractions and a bunch of food and a bunch of other stuff. And what, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months after it opened, they can't fill it. So, you know, they need to, they're starting to get choosier. I was about to say they need to get choosier. They are starting to get choosier. Shout out to Bob Iger, because that is kind of Iger's thing, is being able to look at, okay, we need to first of all funnel money into fixing the parks. Because when I was there a year ago, prior to this current trip, I can tell you right now, looking at Walt Disney World when I was there a year ago and when we were there, everything had a fresh coat of paint. Everything, I mean, even when it broke down, it was like people knew how to handle it better. It looked a lot better, in my opinion. Hey, Mike, welcome in. Mike Skellington in the house. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. But I will say, they definitely are doing the facelift on the park, which they need to do. It's a theme park. Look at Six Flags. Six Flags is now bought out by another company, mainly because Six Flags kept trying to jack up their price. The part they were forgetting was, if you're going to jack up your price, you need to have something there for people to look at that's not 20 years old. And I worked around theme parks. I almost slipped there. So I will say this. If you're going to do what Disney is doing and up the prices and do these extra events that cost extra, that's fine, in my opinion, as long as when I go to the event, I'm looking at something fresh, clean, and fun. Even if it's classic. Now, there are rides out there that are very old. And they don't need a full-on facelift to modernize or anything like that. They just need a fresh coat of paint. They need the light bulbs changed. I mean, literally, that was the kind of stuff that I was looking at last year and was hearing about before I even went, that was kind of falling behind. And that's always one of the things that Iger hops in immediately and does. He goes, look, this is making us money. It's always made us money. Clean it up, fix it. Great. Now let's look at all the things you want to do. Nope, 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 maybe. Nope, 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 yes. The yes was, of course, Zootopia, if you know anything about Bob Iger. But, let's see here. Sorry, somebody posted something. Slim said, definitely some rides just need some cushion. Yes. Yes, they do. And I understand why they don't do the cushions, especially on the boat dark rides. And that mainly has to do with if they do get wet, they ain't gonna replace them. Let's be real, y'all. They want to be able to go in with a power washer and clean everything, and that's fine. I don't mind that, as long as if you've been power washing the same ride for a year, throw a fresh coat of paint on it. It's not that difficult. And I think Iger, in my opinion, is very, very good about that kind of view. Clean up the parks, make it a fun special experience. All right, now moving on. Guys, knock it off. Sorry, I got two cats doing their thing right behind the camera. So, there was a lot of that I saw. And then if you actually look at what Iger struck and okayed, some of the stuff he okayed was some of the things that I think they're going to re-announce, well, give more information on, but re-announce, let's be real, or confirm at D23, which is the updates to Animal Kingdom for Dino Land. As well as, I also saw him strike Mary Poppins Land. I saw him strike a couple other lands that really looked more like Epcot pavilions, in my opinion, and did not have attractions that were going to bring in any sort of groups other than walk through, see the buildings leave. And I do think Iger is very good at looking at things and going, okay, but where's the attraction? Where's the draw? If we don't have a draw, why are we spending this much money on it? Now, it's one thing to update a ride. For instance, if they take Dinosaur to Indy, yes, it's going to be a lot of money, but a lot of the bones are already there. I mean, the ride vehicles are practically identical. They just have to repaint them. The ride layout itself is dang close. They just have to do all the money on the effects in the ride, and they have to figure out the fire stuff and ventilation and all that stuff. So it's doable, but they're not building something from scratch. So that's why I'm very much leaning towards that's going to be a thing. Just like taking that part of Animal Kingdom and turning it into something Encanto themed or something else that is a movie draw. That makes total sense to me because, to be honest, Dino Land was empty when I was there. I love Dino Land, but I also love dinosaurs. Kids today going to Disney, especially the parents, are not paying that much to go ride a ride for a movie that they probably never saw that came out like 2005. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the ride. I am going to miss the ride. However, I completely understand why they're going to take that prime property and turn it into something that actually is going to make more money. Just like Zootopia. A lot of people don't understand why Iger likes Zootopia so much. I get it. It's literally endless ideas because you have 4 different biomes to work with. I mean, it's one of those movies that just lends itself to attractions. Whether it's a dark ride, a roller coaster, a walk-through, you can do all 3. And you can do them completely different from each other, market them completely different, because that's how the movie is kind of set up. It's brilliant. It's kind of like Star Wars pre 1 through 3 and 7 through 9. There's endless planets, there's endless opportunity. Nope, we're just going to repeat a desert planet over and over and over and over again. And they finally put a water planet in there eventually. I was very proud of them. I was like, all right, guys, good job. You did it. And I will say, again, I've said this before, if you haven't seen the animated end of Star Wars as far as Clone Wars itself especially, go watch it. If you don't want to watch the whole thing, because it does get kind of kid showy at times, if you don't want to watch the whole thing, go to the very, very last season, watch the last 6 episodes. Because I promise you, the last 3 that are episodes are standalone movies, and the 3 before it set it up, and they overlap the movies as far as between episode 2, 3, and 4. Like, they literally carry you through. So go check that out. I'm sorry, I'm neglecting the chat tonight. I apologize, guys. But yeah, I did want to say that. So as far as the stuff that's going to be announced at D23, you're going to probably hear about a new Marvel's idea. You're going to probably hear about a new attraction that we probably already have guessed is going to happen. Other than that, there are some cool things to see. There's costumes and props and that type of thing. Like, yeah, totally. And I'm in no way dissing anybody that wants to go, and I'm not dissing Disney or D23 at all. I'm just saying this particular year, in my opinion, with where the company is, and with who's in charge, and with what they've already released, I expect there to be maybe 2 big announcements. If that. And it's probably going to be stuff we've already guessed, but they're going to make it a 30-minute long ordeal of, you know, we're announcing this big thing. You know, it's how Disney does it. I totally get it. It makes sense. That's literally what it's for. So I would say, as far as D23 this time, Slim's like, so what you got in your cup? Haha, that's why I use a red cup. We've talked about this, Slim. I should have said, wouldn't you like to know? But that's kind of how I feel about the upcoming D23s. I don't think we're going to learn too much as far as things we actually want to know about. And the things we will learn will be teasers that we may not even see come to fruition. So, I don't know. If you want to go, go. Please go. Like, let me know how it goes. I will be watching the stuff that people put out from it because I'm curious. But if I actually had that kind of money sitting there waiting and figuring out what to do with it, I don't know if I'd go this year. I just don't know. Everything seems pretty already announced, if that makes sense. Whether it's unofficial or official. Anyway, off that soapbox. Where did my list go? Also, if you were just joining us, okay, there we go. If you were just joining us, my apologies. I hit puberty all over again. If you guys are just joining us, we are doing our 200 subscriber giveaway. Not tonight. It will probably be day after tomorrow. I wanted to try to do that during the daytime for everybody, so that everybody had kind of an equal chance for that. And I do have a couple of days off work coming up. I do have a long work day tomorrow, which is why I probably won't be on for much longer. I will take a break, and then I'll come back and talk about the last couple of things. But I did want to announce that. If you're just tuning in, we will be doing the giveaway. Stay tuned. Also, if you didn't see before, Slim, check this out. This is what Wendy's getting. Isn't that cute? Oh, there we go. Isn't that cute? Sorry, I'm checking my monitor on this side because this is the one where I can actually see myself. Also, this is probably one of my favorite things that I picked up while I was there. I will not be showing all the merch that I picked up while I was there, but I did want to mention this. So check this out. So this is from Dinosaur, and it's the Time Rover, and it's also remote controllable. So I thought this was really cool. And you won't be able to get this for much longer. And it was not very expensive. But I remember looking at this when I was a kid and going, I want one. And then we never got one. But I'm very excited. Of course, my wife's like, oh, we'll take it home and let the kid play with it. And I'm like, this stays in the box, dear. So I'm very, very excited. I might pull it out of the box and play with it myself. I'm not going to lie. But I did want to show that. They are discounted right now. If you have not had the chance and you want one, there's still plenty of them in Dino Land USA at Walt Disney World in the gift shop right outside of Dinosaur. So go check that out. Seriously, it was awesome. Slip said, that's so cool. Well, thank you. Also, I'm hoping to jump on that ride before it gets replaced with Indiana. Slim, let me know when you come over. If you come over this year, let me know ahead of time, please. I would love to come hang out with you at Disney. Seriously. I think that'd be a lot of fun. A little dangerous, but a lot of fun. Because I think, you know what I think. All right. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. And I will be right back. Mainly I have to go see what the cat's just knocked over. But definitely check out the new slideshow for On Break. And I will be right back, guys. Thanks so much. Again, I'm LilRoo. This is LilRoo Plus 2. I'll be back in just a minute. Bye. All right, guys, we are back. Thank you so much. Let's see, just kept it up, catching up on chat. Let me read over here because it's easier. Slim said, haha, I wouldn't dream of going there without you. Us together would be dangerous. Yes, we would. We would have a lot of fun, though. Also, he said, I've never been to Florida. There are definitely some rides I would love to try. We don't have out here. Yes, there are several, and it is huge. So bring good walking shoes. But yeah, I know all the good spots. All the good spots. And I'm learning all the good spots to stream. So that's good, too. But yeah, we would have an absolute blast. So let me know, most definitely, if you decide to come out here. That would be absolutely fantastic. I would love that. Absolutely love that. Also, you get to ride the fun monorails, Cosmic Rewind, Tron, which... Tron is one of those, I'll be honest. The queue is better than the ride. I said it. I said it. I'm sorry. It is. I mean, it's a fun ride. The ride vehicle itself is really cool. Um, the ride itself is just too short. If they had taken, I know it lagged a bunch. I put a video out today that's the whole ride, just the ride itself. So go check that out in my videos. It really is kind of a lackluster rock and roller coaster until you get to the section, which did not lag either time, where the bikes crash on one side and they crash on the other, and there's like actual screens. Like, that's really, really cool. There's one section where your wheels light up, then you pass a mirror wall. That's really cool. So yeah, no, it is Mom said it correctly, it is a 60-second ride, truly. I mean, it really, really is. However, it's worth going on at least once. If you haven't been, go try it. I would have paid the money to try it. Shout out to Brian, who was the cast member that we went and talked to because we were having some issues with some other stuff with our app. By the way, if you're ever at the parks, you're having an issue, go to guest services. That's what they do. But we let her know that it was both our birthdays, and we had been trying to get Tron for like 3 days or 4 days in a row, and we couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And they let us know, like, oh, well, if you're doing just virtual queue, it was 0.8 seconds for it to fill up when it opened. Now we're up to 3 seconds, so we're heading the right direction. And I was like, holy cow, like, wow. But there is also, if you're staying on property at 7 a.m., you are able to actually purchase that ride as a separate Lightning Lane attraction. If you're staying off property, you have to wait till the park opens. So I will be talking a lot more about that, not tonight, but I will be talking a lot more about virtual queues and all that kind of thing, because it is a minefield out there right now. As far as, especially if you're there for just a couple of days, it took us like four days, I think, to just figure out how to be able to do it. And then we were able to get 3 rides in one day. So that was awesome. And also Baby Swap. I've said this before. I will say it again. If you are there with someone who cannot ride the ride because they're too young, and you want to ride the ride, and you're there with maybe, your partner and a friend, like I was, someone gets to ride it twice. It's awesome. So the way it works, when you go up to the initial front of the queue, usually to the right or the left, there'll be a group of cast members standing there. Go walk up to them, say, hey, we want to schedule a baby swap. Same thing for Everest. However, from the entrance to the right, it's directly behind it. But there'll be an umbrella. You'll see a cast member. They'll have a tablet. Look for the tablet. Go up to the person with the tablet, say, hey, we need to set up a baby swap. The way it'll work is they'll need to scan whoever the person is riding second and whoever's riding twice. Because the way baby swap works is one person stays behind with the child. 2 people get to ride you. One person, obviously the partner, and a friend, whoever that is, whether it's, if you have 2 kids and one's old enough to ride and one's not, the kid can ride twice. I used to do it all the time. It's my favorite part of my sister being younger than me. So seriously, just go up to them, tell them, hey, I want to do baby swap. Who's doing what, as far as who's staying behind the first time, who's riding the second time, and who your +1 is. They scan those bands, and then the way that works is the first person that's a partner gets to ride with their +1. You ride the ride. When you come off, they take possession of the child. The second person gets to go again with a +1. So it can either be the partner or the friend or the older child or whatever you want to do. And that person can then go and ride with the other person, so they're not riding alone. And when they go the second time, basically the way it works is if it's a virtual queue and you don't have a lightning lane, I'll get to lightning lanes in a minute. If it's a regular virtual queue or a regular queue and you're setting up a baby swap, the first person that's riding and their +1 has to wait in the regular line. As far as if they have if it's a virtual queue, you have to wait in the virtual queue line. If it's a regular queue, you have to wait full time. Once they get through it, when the second person goes to ride, they go through lightning lane. So they get there faster. Now, if everyone has a lightning lane, and this has to be everyone, excluding the child, has to have a lightning lane, the way it works is this. You can go same format to begin with, but instead of going through the queue line, you go through the lightning lane line with whoever the partner is and their +1. They ride the ride, and then the second group gets to go through the lightning lane as well. So keep that in mind. If you have any questions about Baby Swap ever, please let me know. I'm kind of a pro at it from doing it not only with my kiddo, but also when my sister was, she's 5 years younger than me. So when I was coming up, that was like the best trips to Disney ever because I got to ride all the e-ticket attractions twice, once with each parent. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Let's see. Slim said, that sounds weird, but it's a great idea. Mom said, LilRoo makes it sound more complicated than it is. Well, you know, I do that. I'm not sure what I'm making sound more complicated, but that's what I do. I overcomplicate the simple. That's why I started a YouTube channel. Cheers, Mom. Thanks. Also, everybody, good vibes to Mama Kanga. Mama Kanga has a minor surgery tomorrow, so hoping for everything to come out great. And thoughts and prayers to her. She's awesome. She's a big reason, the biggest reason, arguably, why I am such a Disney fanatic. So, love you, Mom. I hope everything goes well tomorrow. But that is how Baby Swap works. You're very welcome, Mom. That is how Baby Swap works. If you have any other questions, let me know. If it's ride specific, let me know. Also, I know this is more of an adult themed stream that I do when we do the Streamers After Parks. So I did want to mention this. DFB did come out and say that no smoking was allowed anywhere on property anymore. It's not completely correct. It is allowed outside of the gates of the parks in designated areas. I will be putting out a video about it. I'm not saying that I partake or do not. I just found this interesting. So the way it works is there are no smoking sections anymore, as there were up to very recently, and for my entire lifetime, in the parks. They're no longer in the parks. However, if you go outside the gate, Epcot is in one area, Magic Kingdom's in one area, everybody's got a different little spot. The best thing to look for is a cast member and ask them. And I will also put out a video where I can at least say where there are two outside of Hollywood Studios. There's one outside of Epcot. There is one outside of Magic Kingdom. And I'm pretty sure there's one outside of... I know for a fact there's one outside Animal Kingdom as well, because I asked a cast member, because at that point I was like, is this a thing? So I did want to say that. I know there are some adults out there that have, their things, and I totally get that. I totally understand. I'm about everybody being able to go on vacation and have a vacation. And that is one thing that I know from personal experience through friends and everything else, that if your mind is focused on that, you're not having the best time. So I did want to let people know there are locations for you to do that. However, you do have to exit the parks. Usually it's not far. It's like 20 yards outside of the park gate, and it's hidden away in a spot. But we will talk more about that later. I did want to go ahead and mention that because I had heard that that was not a thing anymore, and then I saw people doing it and was like, meh. So I did want to let you guys know. I will talk more about that later. But yes, that is still very much a thing. It's just not allowed inside the parks at all. So be ready for that. They do allow you, I can't say this because I asked some people in security, they do allow you, if you have, whether it's a pack or a vape or whatever, they allow you to take it into the parks, but you cannot use it. So you don't have to leave it in the car, you just can't actively use it inside the gates. Once you're outside the gates, there is a designated area. Please follow the rules. You guys know me by this point. I like to follow the rules because I don't want to get in trouble with the mouse. Because me and the mouse go way back. So anyway, that's all I got to say about that right now, but I did want to mention that. Let's see. Flight of Passage. Did anybody here watch the live that I did Flight of Passage? Because I did Flight of Passage twice. I used the Baby Swap. The first time I did not video or stream at all. I just enjoyed the ride. The second time I actually decided to go live because I was with IF doing the Baby Swap time, because he was with the baby the first time around. So I was his +1. And I asked several cast members before I went live. And it turns out that Flight of Passage looks awesome. It is. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. They hype it up to be a lot more difficult to ride than it is. If anyone here ever rode at Universal, the Back to the Future ride. I don't know if you guys had it on the West Coast. We had it on the East Coast. It's now the Simpsons ride, which literally is the exact same ride. It's just been overlaid with a new paint job and Simpsons characters and videos. So it's the same concept, but instead of being in a car that sticks out, you are in your, it's like a bike seat, basically. And it's very similar to the Tron restraints. They come up to, basically, I'm 6'2". They come up to my bottom rib, is where the actual restraints come to. Now, if you're trying to stream or video or anything, I had to ask about 6 different cast members to get a version of an answer. The last 4 all echoed each other, so I was like, okay, we're good. And that's why I went live. But I did ride it one time previous to make sure that I knew where the restraints came up to, because it had been so long since I've ridden it in the past. It is one of those rides that's kind of pay to play unless you want to wait in a really long line. And even if you get the lightning lane that you have to pay for, that's separate from regular lightning lane, you may still be waiting up to 30 minutes. Not to mention, it is the longest queue. And I'm not talking the waiting queue. I'm talking like the pre-show videos and all that kind of stuff. It is the longest. And I do mean the longest one on property, in my opinion. I can say they have different variations of it. One of them is shorter than the other. And they use it depending on what the, basically how much they're trying to delay you from going to the next room. They'll either give you an extended show queue or they'll give you the short show queue. And there are multiple variations of it. There are 2 different video rooms that you have to step into before you actually go into the ride room. Once you're in the ride room, there are these big buckets like you're at the airport. They're about 2.5 feet by 1.5 feet. They're big enough for a full-size backpack, plus maybe a fanny pack. Stow anything you have in those and put them all the way to the back. If they fall out, it makes the ride stop. So put them all the way in the back of that. They all stay stationary. There's a wall that comes up in front of it because your actual ride vehicle is on the other side of the room about 6 feet away with a thing that comes up and you see the full 360, or not 360, but 180 like fisheye screen. You ride that. By sitting there, you have 2 handles, and then there's a clamp that comes down on both the back of your legs and your back. So if you're claustrophobic or afraid of heights, avoid this ride. You can go through the queue, and then you can opt out. It's totally fine. I'm just giving that disclaimer because it's very much like the Back to the Future ride. If you look around like that while you're riding, you're not looking at Pandora. You're looking at probably another 300 people all around you in these apparatuses hung out over a thing that's a screen. It's very much like Soarin', but you're in like a bicycle seat that clamps you in. Now, the rule for recording or anything like that is if it impedes the safety equipment at all, they will tell you to take it off. The safety equipment comes up to my bottom rib, which is down here. I had my camera up here. So we were good. And then I was literally holding the 3D glasses like this, trying to make sure you guys could see. Also, slight spoiler alert, I may have figured out how to fix that issue. So stay tuned. I'm not going to spoil it. There's a select few people that I've told behind the scenes what I'm going to do, and I think it will make 3D rides a lot more fun for you guys viewing at home. But we'll get to that later. Anywho, those are the things you need to know, though. Make sure all of your stuff is stowed. I'm talking backpacks, glasses. If you're comfortable with your glasses being on, like mine, I've got them adjusted where they're super tight on my ears, specifically so I can ride rides and they not go, phew, and I still worry about it sometimes. But glasses are one. Sunglasses, take them off. Fanny packs, take them off because it's going to impede the safety stuff. Backpacks have to go. If there's something in your pocket that you're worried about any sort of shaking is going to pop out, take it out, just put it in the bin. You don't even have to put it in your backpack, just put it in the bin. It will stay, I promise. The bin doesn't move at all, you move. So please, 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 and if you have any questions at all, ask a cast member. That is what they are there for. They're not just there to tell you to hold on a second, okay, you 4 to row 4. They're there also to answer questions, and they're great about it.
Absolutely fantastic. I've never done so many shout outs of cast members in my life. They were fantastic. From the Safari ride all the way to Flight of Passage to Tron. Even if you watch Tron, the second time that I went live, right before we went on Space Mountain, on my last day at Magic Kingdom, I kept saying, I'm not upset at all. It's their job. And that was true. So what happened? A little behind the scenes for you. I know I'm switching gears here. A little behind the scenes for you. I had my chest harness on. Now this chest harness, I had it right here. I don't know where it went. Okay, it disappeared. The kiddo took off with it. Basically the way it works, it goes over the shoulders and it goes around right here. And it clips. So, I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's like suspenders, but up here. And then there's a piece that you attach your phone, which I'm using currently for the tripod. But you screw down the clamps onto the phone. So make sure your phone case isn't one of those like super slippery ones. The way that I usually look at it is the darker colors it is, or the more plain Jane, the more it's probably going to have a little bit of friction as far as the case cover. If it's sparkly and clear, it's going to be super slick. So that's how to tell ahead of time. So I clamp down the phone in this thing, and then it just goes up and down. And then you slide it in, and it clicks. And once it clicks, that's why if you look in the video, I was literally had the harness doing this. Like, hey, it's okay. It's not going anywhere. And they had the initial employee come by. They had the second, that was the floor supervisor, and they had the lead all come out and look at that for that third ride of the day for me, second ride of the day for you guys, because I was live, then I filmed, then I was live the last one. It's their job. I'm not upset about it at all. I very much was like, I mean, I've done it before, but I mean, this is what it is. And I had a hoodie zipped all the way up to the bottom of it so that it would help hold the camera from dipping down. And so they couldn't see it. So I was unzipping the jacket, trying to show them the hoodie, or not the hoodie, but the harness, and then explaining the different things on the harness. GoPros are completely good, from what I've understood. As long as they are attached, they're good to go. Phones, I use pretty much the exact same equipment you would with a GoPro. So I will get more into the equipment and things like that for people that want to stream or video. Also, if you ever have a question, like for me, I would go up and go, hey, maybe I'm not videoing this for YouTube. Right now I'm more concerned with just getting a video of my kid on this ride for the first time. Is that okay? This is what I have. And they would look at it and go, yeah, that'll work. Or, I don't know if that'll work. Maybe try this. Ask them. That's what they do. They do this all day long. So please, please, please ask them. By the way, did you say there's a ride at Walt Disney World like Indy? Yes, Mike, there is. It's called Dinosaur. If you check out my Animal Kingdom video, I don't believe there was any lag in that particular section of it. It's very, very dark, but there is a Dinosaur Institute in Dinoland, USA that's pretty much the same vehicle. In fact, the vehicle looks like that. So very, very, very close to what you guys have. Whoop, there's a green screen. Let me do this. So that's what the vehicle looks like. But yes, there is one inside Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom. If you go and watch that part of the video, just scroll until you see a big dinosaur. When you see a big dinosaur skeleton, it's about 5 minutes out from me going on the ride. And I did film the entire thing live, and it is up there on YouTube. Feel free to go check that out. But it's the same layout, same ride vehicles. I mean, it's all they have to do is repaint it and basically put in the effects for the skull with the laser and the fire. And that's it. And of course, Indy. You gotta add Indy. Can't have Indy without Indy. But yes, Mike, that was the ride I was talking about. It's called Dinosaur again. Animal Kingdom. Go check out the Animal Kingdom video. I think it's like halfway through. Just if you're scrolling through, look for where the dinosaur, like you'll see, like, because I look at a dinosaur skeleton outside, and I filmed the front of the ride for a good 2 or 3 minutes while I was taking pictures with my kiddo, and that is the ride I was talking about. So go check that out. But anyway, regressing back to Flight of Passage. So I asked a bunch of the cast members, first of all. I rode it once before I tried to film, which I highly recommend to anyone that has never ridden a ride before and wants to film something. Ride it once before. I don't care how long the queue is, because that way you can have your life together a little bit when you actually go in there to film. The third thing is, if a cast member walks up to you and asks you about your equipment, don't get offended. Just answer any questions they have. And if they ask you at the end, because even with Tron, their tone was very much like, and this was, again, my third time on the ride using the same gear every time. I was in no way upset about it. It's their job. I'm totally cool with that. If they had asked me to take it off, I would have taken it off, live or not, because I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. I have no desire to be that guy. So what I'm asking you guys to do out there is, if you have any desire to film something and someone stops you and asks you like about your equipment, that's a cast member, about your equipment, or to tell them more about your equipment as far as safety things and stuff like that, answer their questions, be polite. If they ask you to take it off at the end of it, that's it. That's all you got. Different cast members have different views on different things. They're human, just like we are. So do not get upset. Do not get aggravated. Even if you've ridden it 50 times that day and someone new walks up to you and wants you to go through, do it. That's just all I'm going to say about that. Follow the rules. Be nice. I have been a cast member of other parks before, and I get it. I completely get it. So they are really, really nice at Disney. They're trained to be able to answer questions and interact with guests at the same time while making sure that safety is paramount, and they're doing their jobs amazingly. Don't make their jobs more difficult. Putting that soapbox away again. So, you're very welcome, Mike. You're very welcome. Oh, okay. Fuel rods. That was the next thing I wanted to talk about, and then I'm probably going to wind down for questions if anybody has any. Fuel rods saved my butt so many times on this trip. Now, if you're streaming or trying to charge a gimbal like I was, they're not going to do very much. At best, they'll slow down the rate of which your phone dies. But if you are not streaming and not doing all that extra stuff that takes power like I was, they're fantastic. My advice, take a cord that's about 3 feet long, USB to USB-C. That way you can hook up to the fuel rod, put it in your pocket, hook your phone up or whatever, put it in a different pocket. Do not put it in the same pocket. The fuel rods heat up really, really, really fast when you're using them, especially if it's a big power draw. So, best way that I have found to do it is keep them in separate pockets. No one's going to worry about you having a cable across your waist or something where it's going out of one pocket into another once you're in the parks. They know what you're doing. It's all good. So, that's the best way, in my opinion. It will give you anywhere from 7 to 27% boost per fuel rod on your phone off of one cell. Now, second thing, if you have a power cell, a fuel rod, which I'm going to call power cells. If you have a power cell that you've gotten out of a machine and you don't use it during the day, or even if you did and you find an outlet like at Epcot where we found those outlets, plug them in. They can be charged. It is not a USB-C charge on that end. You need the smaller, like traditional USB to USB-B, I guess, and that will charge it. It does not take long to charge them. So feel free to do that. They are rechargeable. You don't have to swap them every time they're dead. If you don't want to, you can just recharge them if you have the opportunity. That also being said, you have the swap option. Now at Disney, there are multiple places. There's the 5 and 10 at Universal. There is coming from the UK over the bridge, or right before you get to the bridge to go into France, at Epcot at the very back, that gift shop down by the exit at the back. There's one in there for swappage. There's a couple at Magic Kingdom, one of which is right next to Jungle Skipper's restaurant and the sunglasses area, basically right there where the bathrooms are. There'll be a coin thing on one side. If you turn directly around facing away from the men's restroom, you're looking at one of the swap out machines. There are at least 2, if not 5 in every park, depending on which park. There are apps that you can go to find these. Now, when you walk up to them, and I have filmed this live, if you missed it, go back and check out my lives. I'll be doing a separate video about them later. The way it works, you walk up to the machine, you hit, there'll be a button that says buy and a button that says swap on the touchscreen. Click swap, a little light will light up in this little dugout thing. Look at the picture because the barcode on your fuel rod has to be positioned the correct way. It can't be backwards. You drop it in. It takes about 15 seconds. One drops out the bottom. It takes about another 20 seconds for the machine to reset. When it resets, you can do that as many times as you want. It's completely free to swap out a used fuel rod for a non-used fuel rod that's already charged. That also being said, at the parks, a fuel rod costs $30 a piece. You can get 2 for $60 or 3 for $90. There are options on the screen for all three. We got 2 for $35 off of Amazon. Just make sure that they are fuel rod brand and they will work. You can buy them ahead of time, make sure they're charged, use them, and swap them out for free, and it will save you money. It will save you a lot of money. Do it. I highly recommend it. Now, what I was doing is my gimbal actually has an access port where I can plug in a cable that goes from the gimbal to the phone so I can charge while using. So I had that running the last 3 days that I was there. And then at the same time, I had a fuel rod always plugged into the gimbal itself. So basically, it would just slow down the rate of everything dying. Now, since then, I have bought more powerful, or my wife has bought more powerful charging banks, which we will be testing out coming up at some of these other trips that I haven't announced yet that are in the planning phases, which I'm very excited about. But if you're going to use the fuel rods, because again, they're free to swap out. They're great if you're not streaming or anything like that, and you just need your phone charged or anything like that. They're absolutely fantastic. I highly recommend buying 2 ahead of time and then just swapping them out as they go dead, because it's free the entire time, and then you don't have to worry about not having a battery on your phone. Don't let your phone get below like 20%, and that'll also help even more, because then you can still do all the things you want to do, like take a video, if you want to start streaming, anything like that, and your phone will still be in a place where you get a good hour or 2 before you have to worry about your battery life. So that is my version of fuel rod stuff. Again, I will talk more about these, but the biggest thing is the cost. They're $30 a piece in the park. They're $35 for 2 on Amazon. Buy them on Amazon. Don't buy them in the parks if you can help it. They don't care. They all work. So I did want to go ahead and bring that up. All right, guys. Does anybody have any questions? I know this has been a lot more me gushing information, and I plan on doing a lot more of that. But I did want to try to share as much as I could while it's still fresh in my brain. There's more stuff and tips and tricks that I want to share with you guys. I'm just going to wait till later so I have more stuff to talk about. Also, we hit over 200. I'm so excited. So I will be going live at some point in the next 72-ish hours. It'll probably be Thursday or Friday, because I do have to work all day tomorrow for a gig. But I'll be off the next 2 days, so depending on child and dog and wife and life and things, we will go live at some point at a reasonable hour and be able to do the giveaway. Also, I do have some more people that have said okay, that are also fellow content creators that are much fancier than I am, that have said they were good to come on the stream and do interviews, which I'm very, very excited about. So that is coming down the pipe. I'm working on that behind the scenes. As you probably saw in the break video, I am kind of revamping everything for the Streamers After Parks to kind of, update us into this generation from my, 5 pictures and a sound that may or may not play. So again, we are revamping everything right now. I'm trying to keep up with everything. I also plan on taking the live videos that are on YouTube and kind of splicing them out on based on attraction, if there's not a bunch of lag. And that way, if you want to see like indie, you can go to that video. If you want to see this, you can go to that video. And I will be doing more of that when I go back to the parks, as far as getting more rides like Big Thunder, where it's just a video straight through, no lag at all, high quality. So thank you all for your continued support. I really, really do appreciate it. Justin said, we got to get you to Universal Studios Hollywood. Yes, you do. I would absolutely love that. That would be amazing. I would love to go to Universal Studios Hollywood. I love Universal Studios. It's not Disney, but I have to say they have taken their IP in my lifetime. And I can't even say taken, they've accumulated IP in my lifetime that has launched them arguably past Disney. as far as immersive experience. And I'm talking about Harry Potter World. And I haven't seen Mario World yet. I'm very excited to see that because that looks freaking amazing. But just seeing what they did with Harry Potter is amazing. I mean, just the train ride itself, using the train ride as its own specific attraction that is worth being an attraction, that is also, you can only really use it properly or view it properly if you have the park hopper option for Universal. It was brilliant. It was brilliant marketing. Got me. And I was very happy to pay the extra money. Like, yes, here. You know, like, let's do it. So, no, I had an absolute blast. We actually went last year when we went to Disney. The wife and I did 2 days at Universal, and we got like the fast passes and everything. So we rode literally everything there in the Florida park, both parks. And wow. I had been looking forward to Harry Potter World for a hot minute, and it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. Justin said, you can buy interactive wands at Harry Potter. Yes, you can. I have not done that yet. The wife and I talked about it, and I went, you know what? When we come back, that's what I'm doing. There's a whole experience that comes with buying the wand, if you guys don't know. Like, I'm very familiar with how it all works. In fact, I literally was going around to all the spots where the wand things work and just watching other people do it. The wife's like, why are we staring at this random line in the middle of nowhere for no reason? I'm like, just watch. It's so cool. So, no, I love everything that they have done there. The only complaint I have is because I wear glasses, 3D glasses don't have the same effect for me that they do for most people. And so, I don't know, it's just like an extra thing I have to try to keep track of. So that's something I'm working on myself. As far as bringing that stuff to you, I have a whole nother idea for that. And we're not going to talk about that right now because that's in the R&D phase. But it's looking good. In theory, it works. And so far in practice, not terrible. So more to come on that later. Let's see. Justin said, oh, and I got myself a gold power band for Super Nintendo World. And that's awesome. So PJ and Jay sent me one of the buttons for the 1 year anniversary for that over there on the West Coast. They sent me that and my Walt Disney World hoodie that I wore a ton while I was at the parks. And I love both. They're so cool. I would literally like, oh, look, it's so like, see what it says? So cool. Okay, anyway, I'll stop geeking out. That's what you guys like watching, right? I'm just a big kid. I love talking about this stuff. I find both companies absolutely amazing. I mean, really, if you think about it, they're one company, but that's more of a company umbrella. And we can get into the politics of Disney versus Universal later. But yeah. Hey, sis, how's it going? But yes, we have some plans as far as the 3D stuff to be able to bring that to you where you can see it better and it's cleaner. It's in the R&D phase. Just stay tuned. There's so much happening, guys. And I couldn't do it without you guys. Seriously. There's, this started out very small and it's getting bigger and it's growing and this community has been so nice to me. And I am trying to make sure that I can bring the best possible experience to you guys that I can, especially when I'm at the parks. I mean, obviously here too, but definitely at the parks. And I know some of you watched the very first stream I did, and some of you watched the last stream I did, and they were worlds apart. I was changing settings, I was changing technique, I was doing rides that I had said, there is no way I'm getting on this ride ahead of time and filming it, and then I would just go live and film it. And that would not have happened without you guys' support. That would not have happened without just knowing that I could try something that maybe I wasn't quite comfortable with yet and see how it went, and then it actually go well. Flight of Passage, perfect example. Like, I rode it one time prior and went, oh yeah, that's right, this is how this ride goes. I wonder, should I go live? Should I go live? And everybody's like, I don't care. And I'm like, I know, but should I go live? Like, I don't know. And IF looked at me and went, can you do it? Like, can you film this ride? And I went, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. And he goes, then go live. And I was like, let's go live. Boop. Hey guys. So thank you so much. Seriously, you guys are amazing. The support group is amazing. I will continue to try to bring fun and exciting and just entertaining content your way, whether it's the art museum or the science museum or Disney or Busch Gardens or Hollywood Studios. Hopefully next year. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Seriously, it's been amazing, guys, gals, friends, and pals. Like seriously, hugs to all of you, for real. Let's see. Justin said, even if I have my power band from 2023, I need to get the gold one since they're going to be limited. Yes, and believe me, I wish I had one. So I had I was aware of the gold power bands and have been aware of the gold power bands, and well, you guys know the rest. I'm out here, you guys are out there, so I live vicariously. So, but guys, if nobody has any more questions, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up here in a second. But I did want to take this time to say thank you again. Seriously, the LilRoo +2 thing has become its own. I don't even know the word for it, but it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I am so privileged and thankful that all of you guys enjoy watching me walk around and show you guys stuff and talk, and thank you. I mean, really, thank you. I mean, I've been trying to put in the work on my end to make sure that I can bring you guys the best that I can bring, and hopefully it gets better every time. But if I didn't have you guys, I'd just be sitting here in front of very bright lights and talking to my phone. And sorry, I'm literally, we hit 200 and I went, what? Like, there was one day when we were at Epcot and I think we jumped 40 friends, and I was like, what happened? And then people are starting to, like, people would walk up and be like, hey, you're doing great. And I'm like, what? Yeah. I really don't know what else to say other than thank you. Thank you. And if I have anything to say about it, this community and this channel and this little family that we're building is not going anywhere at all. And I am privileged and honored to be able to just share some of these experiences with you guys and gals and friends. So anyway, I'm gonna stop being all mushy and I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here in a minute. But thank you again to everyone. Good vibes. How's it going? What's up? Yeah, 205. Congrats. I know, right? What? Yes. Head in the right direction. I love it. Hey, got that right. Got some amazing people, and you're definitely one of it. Thank you so much, Slim. Seriously. Thank you. I try to be on this stream very much what you see is what you get, and yeah, I'm feeling the love, and hopefully you guys are feeling it back, and I really, really appreciate all of you. Slim, appreciate you. Good vibes always. Justin, welcome back. Mom, love you. I'll be thinking about you tomorrow. Tina, always, always, always a pleasure. Miss Garcia, Mike, all my mods. I've said it before, I got the best mod squad out there, and I really appreciate it. I think PJ's still alive. Let me double check. Yep, PJ's still doing a merch. Ooh, Star Wars merch. So PJ's Ponderosa, if you guys haven't checked him out, he's still live right now. Him and Jay are over there doing a merch search at Disneyland. If you haven't checked out the Streamer Hangout with Cordy in California, or Theme Park Casual, or Barry Place 28, go check them out. Very informative, a lot of fun. I need to go to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. Well, today now. But I'm going to go ahead and hit it for tonight, guys. I will be back probably day after tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be a long day. But again, thank you guys so much. Seriously, it's been amazing, and I plan on... I keep trying to bring better and more and better and more, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So, thank you guys for everything. Seriously, thank you all. Every single one of you. I appreciate you. Thanks for the likes, the subscribes, the notifications, the chats, just tuning in. And if you haven't yet and you're liking what you're seeing, or you haven't seen much yet, check us out. Like, we do a little bit of everything over here. A little bit of everything. So, thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. You guys get some rest, and I will see you all very, very soon. Later, guys.